Joining us now, NBC News White House correspondent Vaughn Hilliard, NBC News correspondent Shaq Brewster, who's in Chicago for us, and New York Times reporter Hamed Ali-Aziz, who covers the Department of Homeland Security and Immigration Policy. Shaq, I want to begin with you. What are you seeing in Chicago?
Katie, there's really a feeling of a city bracing for what is to come, especially in light of that announcement, Operation Midway, from the federal government. We saw, and you showed some of those pictures throughout the weekend, we saw regular protests downtown Chicago, people saying that they don't want to see this increased immigration enforcement, that they don't want to see National Guard troops in downtown Chicago. And I should also add that there is real fear. This is the start of celebrations of Mexican Independence Day, a city that is about 30% Latino. And governor saying that he believes that the administration is launching this immigration enforcement to time with those celebrations. And you're seeing the impact of that on the ground, with some celebrations already canceled for this upcoming weekend. At a parade last weekend, they had ICE spotters, people literally with whistles ready to notify others if there were federal agents on the ground. And Katie, all of this is causing some real fear. I want you to listen to a comment from one person who attended a rally just this morning that was put together by faith leaders. Listen here. How concerned are you? The National Guard is not here at this point. He's still.
They don't need to be here, period. I don't want nothing to do with them because he lies, and I'm tired of it. I see some of these kids walking around here. They need help. But what is he doing? He want to deport everybody. Deport his wife and his baby. That's what he need to deport. Take her back to, excuse me, but take her back to where she comes from.
Katie, I should also add that something that we continue to hear at those rallies, you hear from political leaders, is not that people feel as if everything's okay in the city of Chicago, as if crime can't come down anymore. They just feel as if it's a waste of federal resources to send in National Guard troops who, by law, would be essentially restricted to protecting federal property and federal personnel, and then having the surge that's targeting undocumented immigrants, Katie.
I'm a little confused about what exactly the justification is for going in. And Vaughn, hopefully you can help me with this, because Donald Trump had been talking about crime and needing to help Chicago deal with crime, even if they did not want that help. Then you also had Tom Homan over the weekend talking about how they're going to go after cartels. And now this Operation Blitz is for undocumented immigrants. I'm not quite sure what the goal is here in Chicago.
Right, and I think that this gets at the heart of the back and forth over the course of the last 2 weeks, Katie. And to your question, that initially there was the justification from this White House was the need for a surge of federal immigration enforcement agents. And then the president himself started talking about crime, and that the reason a federal presence was needed in Chicago was because of crime. And now what you are seeing in literally just the last few moments here, as we have questioned and as there has been heightened scrutiny and pushback directly from the Democratic governor and the mayor of Chicago against these pending actions that the president has frequently flirted with over the course of the last weeks, that we do have a formal announcement here from the Department of Homeland Security in just the last few moments, announcing that there will be a surge of federal immigration law enforcement. You mentioned it, that they're calling it Operation Midway Blitz, saying that this ICE operation will target the criminal illegal aliens who flocked to Chicago and Illinois because they knew Governor Pritzker and his sanctuary policies would protect them and allow them to roam free on American streets. President Trump and Secretary Noem stand with the victims of illegal alien crime, while Governor Pritzker stands with criminal illegal aliens. Now, notably, that did not include the announcement of the National Guard. Of course, that does not fall under the purview of the Department of Homeland Security here. But I want to let you listen to the president earlier this morning when talking about Chicago.
You try and reason with them, and it's like you're talking to a wall. It's just I assume it's just a political ideology. They're not stupid people. We're waiting for a call from Chicago. We'll fix Chicago. We're bringing back law and order to our country.
He has said, Katie, that he will send in the National Guard. It's not a matter of if, but when at this point. And in a social media post here this weekend, he said that Chicago will soon learn what the Department of War is. Katie.
Yeah, I wonder, Hamed, the Supreme Court ruling that we just got handed down off the shadow docket, which is going to allow immigration agents across the country, with this stem from a case in Los Angeles, more broad authority to stop people. A federal judge in California had called it racial profiling. The Supreme Court is rolling that back and saying, as this case comes through the court system, we're going to allow agents to keep on doing what they were doing. Does that give Donald Trump broader authority or broader working space in the city of Chicago to do these immigration arrests, these detainments?
Well, I think what it definitely does is embolden some of the leaders of the immigration crackdown to basically say that what they were doing was appropriate and legal. I mean, this is something that leaders of the operation in Los Angeles have said repeatedly. So I think we can certainly expect them to continue with the tactics that they've deployed in Los Angeles, going to the parking lots of big box stores and arresting people. These types of things, I think now it really allows them to say what we're doing is appropriate, and we can continue going forward with this type of enforcement.
So what else are they trying to do? What are they gearing up for?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Chicago operation is key. And I think that when you think about this idea of cracking down on crime in Chicago, the administration has, since the first go around, always connected immigration and crime together. And Chicago is no different. They are going after, in particular, Chicago and other cities that have sanctuary policies like Boston, because they say that they are not allowed to go into those jails and pick up people directly. So instead, they are targeting people who have been released from jails, and they will arrest them in the community. And they've long said that when they go into the community and they arrest people at homes, at workplaces, in cars, etc., that other people who are there as well, who may be undocumented, may also be arrested. So these cities should cooperate with ICE and DHS to avoid people who are not targeted being swept up as well.
One of the, you touched on this, Shaq, a moment ago, which is that people are acknowledging that there is a crime issue, but they don't believe that this is the way to actually affect it. D.C. has seen its crime numbers go down since Donald Trump, sent out the National Guard, et cetera, onto the streets of D.C. That arrangement between D.C. and the federal government is going to come to an end soon. And obviously, D.C. is a different place. He's got different authorities. But there are people within the city of D.C. that live in the more dangerous areas who say, I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I don't like Donald Trump, but I like what he's doing here. I like having more people on the streets, making sure that there is not gun violence. They feel safer because of it. Are you hearing any reaction like that in Chicago?
Yeah, Katie, I have heard some people say that they are open to the idea of National Guard troops going to some of the more violent pockets of the city as a deterrent. They know that it's not something that could be there permanent, but they feel as if it's something that could deter any crime. We should again note that crime has decreased in Chicago, shootings, homicides down more than 30% over the last year. But the thing that you continue to hear from leaders, and I'm not just talking about politicians, but pastors at that demonstration I was at earlier today, is that this is an administration that has cut violence prevention funding, that they feel that there are victim support groups or victim support activities that they're not able to do anymore because of that loss in federal funding, that there's violence interrupters that are not able to go out and deploy as much as they were able to. Some are worried about losing their job because of that loss of federal funding. The message that you hear is that not that they don't want federal help, they just don't think it's helpful to have National Guard troops here in this city.